We tell stories of human way, not with artificial voices or AI slop. In the end, what's HFI without humanity? Subscribe to keep it this way. My name is Amir Sohal. Let's begin. The colony was quiet. It was always quiet, far away from Earth, in a distant part of space. There was a small human colony. It was called Haven 47. It was not rich. It was not important. Most people had forgotten it even existed. It was a place for old people, men and women who had already lived their lives. People who had worked, fought, and survived. Now they only wanted peace. They walked slowly. They talked softly. They watched the stars every night. Nothing ever happened there. Or at least, that's what everyone believed. That morning started like any other. Old Mr. Carter sat on a wooden bench near the garden dome. His hands were shaking a little as he fed small artificial birds. The colony did not have real animals, so they built simple ones to keep people company. Carter smiled as one bird landed near him. "You're getting slow," he said quietly. His voice was calm, tired, old, but his eyes were not weak. They were sharp, watching everything, remembering everything. Not far from him, an old woman named Elise was walking with a stick. Her steps were slow, but her back was straight. She stopped for a moment and looked up at the sky. Something felt wrong. She didn't know why. She just felt it. Inside the control center, a young worker named Daniel was checking normal system reports. He was one of the few younger people in the colony. His job was simple: keep everything running. Nothing exciting ever happened until a red light started blinking. Daniel frowned. That's strange. He looked closer at the screen. Long-range sensors were picking something up. Something big. Something fast. His fingers moved quickly over controls. He zoomed in, and then his face went pale. "Ships," he whispered. In deep space, far above the colony, dark shapes moved silently. Alien ships. Large. Cold. Deadly. They had no lights, no signals, only weapons. Their mission was simple: destroy the colony. No survivors. No warnings. Back in the control room, Daniel's hands started shaking. He pressed the emergency button. A loud siren suddenly filled the colony. It echoed everywhere. In the streets, in the homes, in the quiet places where no sound had been heard for years. People froze. Some looked confused. Some looked afraid. They had not heard that sound in a very long time. Carter stopped feeding the birds. The small metal creatures flew away. He slowly lifted his head. The siren continued. Long, loud, urgent. For a moment, his face showed nothing. Then, something changed. His eyes hardened. He stood up. His body moved slowly, but there was strength hidden in every step. "It finally came," he said softly. Elise closed her eyes when she heard the siren. Her grip on the stick tightened. For a second, she looked like she might fall. Then she straightened. Her voice was quiet. "I was wondering when," she said, across the colony. Other old men and women stopped what they were doing. Some were drinking tea. Some were resting. Some were laughing with friends. All of them heard the same sound. And one by one, their expressions changed. Fear disappeared. And something else took its place. Something older. Something dangerous. Daniel ran out of the control room. He didn't know what to do. This colony had no real defense. No army. No protection. Just old people. "How are we supposed to survive this?" he whispered. He turned a corner and stopped. Carter was standing in the middle of the path. Calm. Still. Watching him. Daniel felt something strange. This was just an old man. But right now, he didn't feel weak. "Sir, we are under attack," Daniel said quickly. "Unknown alien ships. They will reach orbit in minutes. We have no defense systems. We need to evacuate." Carter raised a hand. Daniel stopped talking. "Calm down," Carter said. His voice was steady. Too steady. Daniel blinked. "Calm down? Sir, they're going to kill everyone." Carter looked at the sky. "Yes," he said. "They will try." Before Daniel could speak again, Elise walked toward them. Slow steps. Sharp eyes. She looked at Carter. "So it's time," she asked. Carter nodded once. "Yes." Daniel looked between them. What is happening?" No one answered him. Above them, the alien ships entered orbit. Huge shadows covered the colony. The sky turned dark. Weapons powered up. Scanning systems activated. Inside the alien command ship, the commander watched the colony. "Small, weak, easy. Begin scan," the commander ordered. A beam of light passed over the colony, collecting data, reading signals, identifying life forms. Then, the system paused. "Commander, something is strange," an alien officer said. The commander turned. "Explain." The officer looked confused. "These humans, they are not normal civilians." Back on the ground, Carter started walking. Not fast, not slow, just steady. "Elise," he said, "call the others." She nodded, already turning away. Daniel followed Carter. "Sir, please, you don't understand." Carter stopped again. This time, he looked directly at Daniel. "Son," he said quietly, "you are the only one here who does not understand." Daniel froze. Something in Carter's voice made his heart beat faster. "All these people," Carter continued, "do you know who they are?" Daniel shook his head. "They are retired," he said. Carter smiled slightly. "No," he said, "they are not retired." Above, the alien officer continued reading the data. "Commander, these humans, they all have records." "What kind of records?" the commander asked. The officer hesitated. "Military records." The commander narrowed his eyes. "Continue." "High-ranking officers, special units, combat veterans, war survivors." The officer's voice became slower. "Some of them are listed as extremely dangerous." Silence filled the alien command room. On the ground, doors started opening across the colony. Hidden panels moved. Old buildings revealed new shapes. Metal structures rose from the ground. Weapons, hidden for years, came to life. Daniel stared in shock. This was here the whole time?" Carter kept walking. "Yes," he said. "We built it just in case." Elise stood in the center of the colony and pressed a small device. Her voice echoed through hidden speakers. "All units report." One by one, voices answered. "Calm. Cold. Ready. Unit 3 ready. Defense grid active. Sniper position set. Command awaiting orders." Daniel's legs felt weak. "These are soldiers," he whispered. Carter looked back at him one last time. "Not soldiers," he said. "Veterans." Above, the alien commander made a decision. "Prepare first strike," he ordered. "Destroy the colony." Energy weapons charged. Bright light gathered at the front of the ships. On the ground, Carter reached the command center. The doors opened automatically. Systems that had been silent for years came alive. Screens turned on. Maps appeared. Targets locked. Carter sat down slowly in the command chair. For a moment, he closed his eyes, as if remembering something, or someone. Then he opened them, and the old man was gone. In his place was a commander. "Status," he said. Elise's voice came through. "All defenses ready." Carter nodded. "Good." The alien ships fired. Blinding beams of energy rushed toward the colony. Fast, deadly, unstoppable. Daniel held his breath. "This is it," he whispered. Carter did not move. "Defense grid," he said calmly. "Activate." A second later, a shield appeared around the colony. The alien beams hit it and exploded into light. The ground shook. The sky burned. But the colony was still standing. Silence followed. In space, the alien commander stared at the screen. Impossible. On the ground, Carter leaned back slightly. A small smile appeared on his face. "They made the first move," he said. Around the colony, old men and women took their positions, weapons in hand, eyes focused, no fear, only purpose. Elise loaded her rifle. Her hands were steady. "You always said this day might come," she said. Carter looked at the sky. "Yes," he replied. Another wave of alien ships moved into position. More weapons, more power. The real battle was about to begin. Carter's voice became cold, clear, strong. Now, he said, we remind them. His eyes narrowed. Why humans should never be underestimated. The sky was burning. After the first attack failed, the alien ships did not stop. They adjusted. They learned. And now, they were angry. Above Haven 47, more ships moved into position. Bigger ones. Heavier weapons. No more testing. This time, they wanted to destroy everything. Inside the command center, Carter watched silently. His face showed no fear, only focus. Second wave incoming, Daniel said, his voice shaking. He was still trying to understand everything. Just hours ago, this was a peaceful colony. Now, it was a battlefield. Carter stood up slowly. Good, he said. Daniel blinked. Good. Carter looked at him. If they are sending more, it means they are unsure. He paused. And when the enemy is unsure, they make mistakes. Outside, the ground trembled again. Alien cannons charged. This time, the energy was stronger, brighter, deadlier. Elise lay on top of a tall building. Her rifle was placed perfectly. Her breathing was slow, controlled. Her old eyes looked through the scope, locked on target. In her earpiece, voices spoke calmly. Targets marked. Wind stable. Distance confirmed. Elise whispered, copy. Then she smiled slightly. It feels like old days. The alien ships fired again. A massive wave of energy crashed down toward the colony. Shield at full power. Daniel shouted. The barrier lit up once more. The attack hit, and this time, cracks appeared. Daniel's heart dropped. The shield won't hold another hit. Carter didn't panic. Instead, he pressed a button. Phase 2, he said calmly. Across the colony, hidden systems activated. Small missile pods rose from the ground. Defense towers unfolded. Old buildings shifted shape. The colony was no longer a peaceful home. It had become a fortress. Fire, Carter ordered. Dozens of missiles launched into the sky. Fast, precise, deadly. The aliens did not expect it. Their ships tried to dodge. Too late. Explosions lit up space. One ship broke apart instantly. Another lost its weapons. Inside the alien command ship, alarm screamed. Commander, we are taking damage. The commander's eyes narrowed. How is this possible? He looked at the colony again. This small, forgotten place was fighting back. Send ground units, he ordered. Drop ships opened. Hundreds of alien soldiers prepared to land. Back on the ground, Carter saw it. They're changing strategy, he said. Daniel looked terrified. They're sending troops. Carter nodded. Good. Daniel stared at him again. Why do you keep saying that? Carter looked at the screen. His voice became colder. Because now the fight becomes fair. Drop ships entered the atmosphere. Fire burned around them as they descended. Elise adjusted her aim. Targets coming down, she said softly. Take them, Carter replied. Elise fired. One shot. Clean. Perfect. A drop ship exploded midair. She reloaded slowly. Another shot. Another explosion. Around the colony, other snipers joined. Old men. Old women. All of them deadly. Every shot counted. Every shot killed. Daniel watched in shock. How are they so accurate? Carter answered without looking at him. Because they have missed before. More alien troops landed. This time, some made it through. The ground shook as armored alien soldiers stepped forward. Tall, strong, covered in advanced armor. They moved quickly toward the colony walls. Weapons ready. Let them come, Carter said. The gates opened slightly. Just enough. Daniel looked confused. Why are we letting them in? Carter smiled faintly. Because this is where we win. The first group of alien soldiers entered the colony. They expected weak resistance. Easy victory. They were wrong. The moment they stepped inside, explosions triggered. Hidden traps activated. Several aliens were destroyed instantly. The rest pushed forward, firing their weapons. And then, the veterans moved. Old men, who could barely walk before, now moved like trained fighters. Fast, precise, deadly. An old man with white hair took down two aliens in seconds. A woman with a cane used it to break an alien's helmet. They were not fighting with strength. They were fighting with skill. Years of war. Years of survival. Years of experience. Daniel could not believe his eyes. They're unstoppable. Carter shook his head. No, he said. They are just better. Inside the alien ranks, confusion spread. These humans, they fight like machines. No, worse, another alien said. They fight like they have nothing to lose. More alien forces landed. More chaos. More fire. The colony became a war zone. Smoke filled the air. Explosions echoed everywhere. Elise moved from her position. She didn't stay in one place. Never did. She entered a building. Moved through shadows. Silent. An alien soldier turned a corner. She was already there. One shot. Down. She kept moving. No hesitation. No fear. In the command center, Daniel watched everything. This isn't a colony. Carter finished his sentence. It never was. Another explosion hit the shield. This time, it broke. The barrier shattered into light. Daniel gasped. They're going to destroy us. Carter stood up again. His eyes locked on the main alien ship. Not yet, he said. He pressed another control. Hidden deep beneath the colony, something ancient activated. Power levels rose. Systems that had not been used in decades came online. Daniel looked at the readings. What is that? Carter's voice was quiet. Our last line. Outside, the battle continued. Aliens were still pushing forward, but slowly, they were losing ground. Every step they took cost them lives. Every attack was answered. The old soldiers did not stop, did not slow down, did not break. In space, the alien commander watched everything. His confidence was gone, replaced by something new. Fear. These humans, he whispered. They were waiting, back on the ground. Carter looked at the battlefield. His people were fighting, winning, but not without loss. Some had fallen. Some would never stand again. He closed his eyes for a moment. Respect. Silence. Then he opened them again. Stronger. Colder. This ends now, he said. He activated the final system. Deep under the colony, a massive structure began to rise. Metal. Weapons. Power beyond anything the aliens expected. The ground split open. Slowly. Daniel stepped back in shock. That's impossible. Carter looked at it. No surprise. No fear. Not impossible, he said. The structure continued to rise. Higher. Bigger. More dangerous. In space. The alien commander saw it. His eyes widened. What is that? Back on the ground, Carter gave the answer. It's the reason, he said slowly, we were allowed to retire. The weapon locked into position, aimed directly at the alien fleet. Energy started building, faster, brighter, more powerful than anything before. The battlefield went silent for a moment. Even the aliens stopped. Everyone felt it. Something big was about to happen. Carter placed his hand on the control. This is your last chance, he said quietly, looking at the sky. But the aliens did not retreat. They prepared to fire again. Carter nodded once. Decision made. Then, so be it. His finger moved out a beam of pure light shot into the sky. It moved faster than anything. Silent, deadly, final, in space. The alien fleet did not react in time. The beam hit the center ship and erased it. No explosion, no fire, just gone. For a moment, everything stopped. Then chaos began. Commander, we lost the central ship. Energy levels unknown. That weapon, we cannot track it. The alien commander stared at the screen. His hands tightened. This was no longer a simple mission. This was war. Back on the ground, Daniel couldn't breathe. What was that? Carter didn't answer. His eyes stayed on the sky. Recharge time, he asked. A voice replied. Too long. We cannot fire again soon. Carter nodded slowly. He expected that. It was never meant for multiple shots, he said. Outside, the battlefield was still alive. Aliens were still landing, still attacking, still trying to break through, but something had changed. The humans were not just defending now. They were pushing forward. Elise moved through smoke and fire. Her rifle was still in her hands. But now, she carried a small blade too. An alien soldier rushed toward her, fast, strong. She didn't step back. At the last second, she moved to the side, cut through a weak point in the armor. The alien dropped. Elise didn't stop. Around her, other veterans were doing the same. They were no longer reacting. They were hunting. Years of training, years of war, all coming back. Daniel watched everything from the command center. They're changing, they're different now. Carter finally spoke. They remember, he said. Remember what? Daniel asked. Carter's voice became quiet. War. Above them, the alien fleet spread out. They were no longer staying close together. They had learned from the last attack. The commander gave a new order. Target the planet core. The officers froze. Commander, if we do that, it will destroy everything, the commander said. Silence. But it will end this. Back on the ground, alarms started ringing again. Different this time. Louder. More urgent. Daniel checked the system. His face turned pale. They are targeting the planet itself. Carter understood immediately. They want to erase everything, he said. Daniel looked at him. What do we do? For the first time, Carter didn't answer right away. He looked around the room, at the screens, at the battlefield, at the names of the people fighting outside. Old friends, old soldiers, old ghosts. Then he spoke. We finish it. He turned to Elise on the comm. Elise. Her voice came back, calm as always. I'm here. We are out of time, Carter said. I know, she replied. There was no fear in her voice, only understanding. Carter closed his eyes for a second, then opened them again. Call everyone back, he said. Daniel looked shocked. What? Why? We are winning. Carter shook his head. No, we are surviving. He pointed at the sky. And they're about to end that. Outside, the order spread. Fall back. Return to base. Final phase. The veterans did not question it. They trusted him. One by one, they pulled back. Slowly, carefully. Elise was the last to move. She looked at the battlefield one more time, then turned and walked away. Inside the colony, doors closed. Defenses shifted. Everything changed again. Deep underground, a hidden chamber opened. Daniel followed Carter down into the darkness. What is this place? He asked. Carter didn't stop walking. It's where we kept our last mistake, he said. The doors opened. Inside, there was a ship, old, massive, covered in marks of war. Daniel stared. This was here all along? Carter nodded. We hoped we would never use it again. What is it? Daniel asked. Carter looked at the ship, his eyes filled with memories. It's a weapon, he said. Daniel swallowed. What kind of weapon? Carter turned to him. The kind that ends wars. Above them, the alien fleet began charging their final attack. Energy gathered, more than before, enough to destroy the planet. The alien commander watched silently. This ends now, he said. Back underground, the veterans entered the ship. Slow steps. Heavy silence. Each one knew what this meant. Elise walked beside Carter. So this is how it ends, she asked. Carter smiled slightly. Doesn't always? She nodded. Yes. Daniel looked at them. You're not planning to... Carter raised a hand. Stay here, he said. Daniel shook his head. No, I'm coming with you. Carter looked at him for a long moment, then nodded once. Then stay close. The ship powered on. Lights flickered. Systems woke up. It was alive again. Above, the alien fleet prepared to fire. Below, the human ship began to rise. The ground shook. The colony opened one last time. The massive ship lifted into the sky. The alien saw it. What is that? An officer asked. The commander didn't answer. He already knew. Fire, he ordered. Energy beams shot toward the rising ship. Inside, alarms rang. Shields failing. Daniel held on to something. We're not going to survive this. Carter stood still, hands behind his back. Stay on course, he said. The ship pushed forward, through fire, through light, through death. Elise sat at the weapons control. Target locked, she said. Carter nodded. Wait! The alien fleet continued firing, trying to stop them, but the ship kept moving. Closer, closer. Daniel looked at Carter. What are we waiting for? Carter's eyes were fixed on the enemy. Closer, he said. The ship entered the center of the alien fleet, surrounded, outnumbered, perfect position. Carter took a deep breath. This is it, he said. Elisa's hand hovered over control. Ready, she said. Carter looked at the stars one last time, then gave the order. Fire. A column of light brighter than any star cut through space, straight toward the alien fleet. The aliens froze, unsure how to respond. They had never seen a weapon like this. Not in all their conquests. Not in all their wars. Inside the human ship, Carter stood at the controls, calm. Elise beside him, ready. Daniel still clutched a railing, fear and awe mixed on his face. It's time, Carter said. Elise nodded, eyes cold and steady. All systems green. Daniel swallowed hard. Are we sure about this? Carter glanced at him. There is no other choice. If we hesitate, Haven 47 dies. And so does everyone on it. Outside, alien ships scrambled. Their energy beams, which could destroy planets, suddenly looked fragile against a human weapon. The beam struck the nearest alien ship. Silence. Then explosion. But it was not like normal explosions. There was no fireball. No screaming. Just instant erasure. The ship vanished. Another. And another. The alien fleet began to panic. They tried evasive maneuvers, but the beam's speed and precision were unstoppable. Carter, Daniel whispered. It's working. But how? Carter's eyes narrowed. This weapon doesn't just destroy ships. It erases the enemy's tactical advantage. It makes their strategies useless. It makes them vulnerable. The alien commander screamed orders. Focus all firepower. Destroy the weapon. A dozen ships fired at the human vessel. Massive energy streams cutting through space like lightning. The human ship shook violently, alarms blaring. Elise adjusted controls rapidly, shields holding, but only barely. Carter didn't flinch. Let them hit us. They'll only make mistakes faster. Daniel's jaw dropped. You're letting them attack us? We'll die. Carter turned to him. We're not dying. Not today. Outside, the aliens sent boarding ships, dropping soldiers directly onto the human ship. Elisa's voice rang in the corridors. Sniper positions. Intercept. Veterans, some with white hair, some walking slowly but steady, moved through corridors like ghosts of war. They were not young. They were not fast. But they were precise, calculating, and deadly. An alien soldier ran toward Elisa's position. In one motion, she grabbed a nearby blade, spun, and struck. The soldier fell without a sound. Nearby, another veteran used an old communication device to overload alien armor suits, electrocuting a group silently. Daniel looked around. They never stopped fighting. They never retired. Carter nodded. They've always been ready. We just forgot what we had in front of us. Back in space, the alien fleet commander made his last decision. Destroy the planet, he barked. If we cannot win, nothing will survive. A massive bomb was activated. Daniel's eyes went wide. The planet, Haven 47. Everyone. Carter clenched his fists. No, not while I'm alive. The human ship moved, faster than anyone thought possible. It positioned itself between the bomb and the planet. Elise steadied the controls. Carter, it's going to collide. He didn't answer. His eyes scanned every screen, every sensor, every ship in the enemy fleet. Then he gave a single command. Fire the countermeasure. Deep inside the ship, massive energy generators came online. The weapon's core, thought to be dormant, pulsed with raw, unimaginable power. The light it emitted was blinding. Even the veterans shielded their eyes. Daniel felt his chest tighten. It's huge. Carter's voice was calm. Focus. Timing is everything. The alien bomb hit the shield. Energy clashed. A shockwave rippled across space. For a moment, it seemed the human ship would be destroyed. But then, the alien bomb disintegrated in midair. The weapon absorbed it, converted it, returned the energy. The alien fleet began breaking apart. Their ships couldn't withstand the counterstrike. Systems failed. Weapons malfunctioned. Communication was cut. The human beam hit again. One by one, alien ships vanished. On the ground, the veterans watched from observation decks. They had weapons ready, but no one needed them now. Carter stood in the command room, breathing slowly. "Daniel," he said. "Look." Daniel turned. In space, the alien fleet was gone. Completely gone. No trace remained. He could hardly believe it. We won." Carter shook his head. "Not yet. The fight is never over. But today we survived. Today we protected Haven 47. Outside the colony, the sky cleared. Stars shone again. The silent colony felt alive once more. Elise walked down from her sniper tower, leaning on her rifle. She smiled faintly at Carter. "They underestimated us. They always do." Carter returned the smile. "They never learn." Daniel looked at the veterans moving through the streets. Some were wounded, some limped, but all of them held their heads high. "They're heroes," Daniel whispered. Carter shook his head. "No, they're humans. They fight when it matters. That's all." The colony started to repair itself. People emerged from shelters. Old friends embraced. Tears were shed. And yet, Daniel noticed something. The veterans did not rest. They patrolled. They checked weapons. They watched the sky. Carter looked at them. "They're ready for the next attack. Always ready. That's what makes us strong." Daniel nodded. "They never retired." Carter's eyes narrowed. "And they never will." High above the colony, a small sensor picked up something moving in the distance. Daniel froze. "Carter, what is that?" Carter looked. A small alien probe moved through space. Nothing big, nothing dangerous. Yet, he smiled faintly. "We've sent a message." But the universe is never quiet for long. Inside the colony, life slowly returned to normal. Old people laughed again. Children ran through the gardens. Birds, artificial but lively, flitted across benches. But the veterans remained vigilant, watching, preparing, remembering. Haven 47 was safe for now. Daniel finally understood. These were not just old soldiers. They were the last line, the final guardians of humanity. People who had seen war, who had survived battles, who had carried the weight of entire fleets. And now, they were alive, awake, and unstoppable. Carter looked at the stars once more. "They called us retired," he whispered. "But humans—" His eyes narrowed. "Humans never retire." The camera of fate shifted to the alien probe, moving silently in the dark void. A new warning, a new challenge. And the veterans of Haven 47 prepared once again. Because legends do not fade. Because humans never stop fighting. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this content, make sure to subscribe to the channel and support us. It really helps us grow and bring more videos like this. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.